Hey, yo, what the f***? This is a pally right here.
The late night flight is paid for by the following.
He wasn't a love song, but more like a love poem. He didn't make me want to sing. No. He made me want to rearrange the alphabet so that it began with I and ended with us, because there's no other way it should be other than me with him and him with me. He made me want to speak and rhyme all the time so that all of our conversations would be designed to finish each other's lines. He made me want to change all my similes to metaphors, because there's no need for like a ass when he is. He is. Shameless emotions leaking out on paper, my savior. His behavior causes these letters to continue to fuse. He is my muse, created for me in God's light. And if this is wrong, I'm gonna write right until he's right, because he is. The rhythm of words dancing on my tongue, and I'll smoke this poem till I get cancer in the lungs, because he is my drug. And if nothing else, he is love.
It's a bunch of us. I'm a hand in the colony.
Hold on. Everybody on their Martin, everybody marching for a young nigga like me to get tsunami on it. I'ma get it, I'ma win it, baby. I'll be on my curry till I crash and burn 40 on the text. Yeah, I'm acting nerdy if it's at the Appalachian to the Appalachian. I'ma do whatever that they take to make a black a nation. Hold on.
And now, here are your pilots, the informative Hanif Sowell and the greatest Henny Badger who has ever lived, Nassour Nuru.
Yo.
Yeah.
On this week's episode of the fastest rising podcast in podcast infotainment, we find out if Joe Biden thinks he's Principal Joe Clark, if America's Anakin Skywalker Donald Trump think he's Abraham Lincoln, and if you have lowered your dating expectations because the pandemic almost pulled off their best impression of no peace. But first, we start with the inauguration that took place this past Wednesday. Hanif, enlighten us with your takeaways, my brother.
So I watched some of the inauguration. The parts that I caught that was highlighted was Michelle Obama coming out, and her and Lady Gaga was talking. Lady Gaga had a bird on her, like a big golden bird brooch on her sweater. And then J-Lo performed, which I thought was interesting. They had Garth Brooks, and then the black girl that did the poetry, and I can't remember her name off my head.
What do you think about her piece?
She killed it. She killed it, and I saw an article where she had a ring on with a bird in the cage, alluding to Maya Angelou's "I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings." So she was flexing on them. So, and her book went to #1 on Amazon this week. So she out here, she lit. But yeah, just about the inauguration, like it's just interesting to me that Trump didn't show up and he couldn't tweet about it. And I was looking forward to hearing or seeing what he had to say on the tweets, because I know he would have been wilding the whole time. But that was the only interesting part. And then after that, like, I don't know, it feel a little different out here, but I can't tell. We're going to see how Biden do.
True. What do you think about the new memes that's going on right now with the whole not Biden, the other B word, Bernie. There you go. Bernie Sanders is in Sharon Stone's You Know What. Bernie Sanders is outside on people's porches. He's in a Wu-Tang Clan album cover.
Oh, that was crazy.
Bernie is out here right now. Why Bernie getting trounced on like that? What's that about?
Well, everybody is saying Bernie should have been the president right now. So for him sitting over off in the corner like that with his hands crossed and him looking like, man, I don't really want to be here, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But he capitalized off it because he put that image on a sweatshirt and it sold out in minutes. And he donated all of the bread to the Vermont Meals on Wheels program. So Bernie out here capitalizing off that. You know what I mean? I was telling somebody earlier, like, they're going to make that his statue in the year 2060. That's what the Bernie Sanders statue is going to be in the Capitol building.
Exactly. All the applause is up. All that sound good. I like Bernie, man. Bernie, you know what? He's he's not a psychopath. He's just the old head that's going to be on that lawn and say the same damn thing over and over and over again. But at the same time, if we're not listening, that's what you're going to get.
Word.
That's exactly what you're going to get. Speaking of old people that maybe some of us wasn't listening to, the great Larry King has passed away earlier today. Now, today we recorded on a Saturday, so obviously if you are on the internet, I'm pretty sure you know that Larry King has passed away. Larry King from Brooklyn, from New York. This dude was the interviewer of all interviewers, started out as a disc jockey in Miami, wound up getting locked up for grand larceny because of supposedly they gave him $5,000 to interview somebody, but he wound up taking the money and just doing his own thing with the $5,000. But he turned that into the Larry King Show in the 70s. Then he wound up on CNN in, I believe, 1984, 1985. That's just off the top of my mind. And the dude just had some of the best interviews because he got to interview everybody. I mean, for me personally, I really didn't. I know who Larry King is, but I didn't take a sit down and watch CNN until he interviewed Jay-Z. I'm gonna just keep that real. What about you?
Well, I used to catch it so if I'm watching CNN or if I'm flipping through channels late night, depending on who his guest was. So I think I saw the one where he had Bill Cosby on there, where he was talking to Snoop, Jerry Seinfeld, like a few ones that I was flipping through the channels and I saw it. And
I got a treat for you. So I digged up this clip. It has Larry King, and then we have another brother that just passed away. One of the greatest baseball, like top 5 dead or alive, one of the greatest baseball players to ever do it, Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron was on the Larry King Show, being interviewed by Larry King, of course, obviously, duh. 1991 interview, he's promoting his book. I want to give you 2 parts of it. Let me know your thoughts of it. This is Hank Aaron speaking on his viewpoint, his perspective of being black in sports, and is his mouthpiece being muzzled by media while he's trying to give his people the lesson learned that needs to be progressed for the black community.
He came up as a second baseman. A lot of people forget that. And he was known as a doubles hitter when I first saw him play. That's what he did mostly because he had people like Matthews and Adcock around him. But slowly and steadily, Hank Aaron built a remarkable career, 23 years. And he broke Babe Ruth's record. And he's an executive with the Atlanta Braves and has been for a long time. And he has a new autobiography out called I Had a Hammer from HarperCollins. There you see its cover. You can read it in a day or two. It is a terrifically well-written book and a very honest book and a surprising book. And we'll start there, Hank. Surprising in the fact that I've interviewed you a few times over the years. You get into things in this book you never liked to discuss publicly in the past. Racial tensions, things that happened to you, your views of the game. Why now?
Well, I think there were several reasons, Larry. 1976, after I retired from baseball, there was a number of writers that came to me and wanted me to write a book. I was not interested in writing another baseball book. I said there's more to Hank Aaron than just hitting 755 home runs. There's more to Hank Aaron than leading the league in runs batted in. I wanted to write a book about Hank Aaron. And in order to write a book about Hank Aaron, it had to include some of the things that I had in the book. I was born in 1934 and came up and started playing baseball, of course, in 1953. So there was a lot of things that was happening in this country where it was separate but not equal. You know, we were able to go any place we wanted to go, but we were not able to go into hotels to sleep. We were not able to drink at water fountains and all of these things. So I decided that if I was going to write a book, I was going to be honest with not only myself, but honest with the people that I was going to write.
Why did you? All
right, so your thoughts on that so far? He wanted to make sure Larry King knew, like, look, I come from that era.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that because what he essentially did was Larry King laid out a timeline. It was like, listen, I'm going to play until I'm respected. And then when I'm respected and have a platform, I'm going to speak up for my people. And the funny thing about this is that speaking up for his people and representing for his people is probably what ended his life. You know what I'm saying? Because I came across an article where Hank Aaron on January 6th volunteered to take the COVID vaccine to bring a message out to the black community to say this vaccine is safe. We want you to take it. Don't be scared. This isn't a Tuskegee experiment. And then here we are 2 or 3 weeks later and he's gone. So I just feel like that's a coincidence that he was an advocate for Black people and he died being an advocate for Black people.
Part 2. Oh my God. All right. Well, here goes part 2.
I remember once you telling me that you did your talking with your bat, and this was at the time you were still playing and had just retired. Why didn't you talk about this more then?
I did, Larry. I did. I think I don't think that it was talked about. In fact, just recently when I was in Chicago, I think a lot of people said, "Well, why didn't you talk about it?" There was articles in the Jet magazine about me talking about the discrimination and not of blacks not being treated well. But you know, when you have 100 home runs or 200 or 300 home runs, people don't have a tendency to listen to you. And after hitting 755 home runs, of course, people started paying a little bit more attention to what I said.
So, yeah, but now just knowing that and hearing him say that, it is a strategy. I guess that works. I guess that worked for like Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Where Michael Jordan stayed straight away from politics and during his career, but then now he's one of the most biggest donors towards Black Lives Matter and other issues that affect Black people. So, yeah, so I appreciate that strategy, and you know he lived his life and died doing that for Black people.
Hey, yo, what the f***? This is some poly right here.
Why is Joe Biden acting like the White House is East Side High?
Yeah, when I read this article, I was bugging. Like, he came right in from the gate being Donald Trump because he telling people like, yo, if y'all don't do X, Y, and Z, I'm a fire you. Let's listen to the clip that he said and told the people.
But I'm not joking when I say this. If you're ever working with me and I hear you treat another colleague with disrespect, talk down to someone, I promise you I will fire you on the spot. On the spot. No ifs, ands, or buts. Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency and dignity. That's been missing in a big way the last 4 years.
They used to call him Crazy Joe. Now they call him Batman. Yeah, Joe Biden came in there and was like, contrary to popular belief, I'm the head in charge. So yeah, he was acting like Joe Clark from Lean On Me more than Joe Biden, the former vice president, the now president.
But that's what we want though, right?
Yeah, I mean, as a leader, he got to be decisive and everything. You know, the deep thought on that for me is that we have to be a little careful about making everything sensitive to race. You know what I'm saying? Because he's actually going in there from the gate, like, look, if there's any discrimination, but he's saying it in an old school way. Like, nobody's going to call anybody in the workplace. But what they will do is pass you up for a job just because you're Black, and they don't have to say that to anybody. They just do that. So you can't trace that based on how people are treated. Because I could hi Bob and nice guy and go out to lunch and happy out with you all day. But at the end of the day, when my name come up for a promotion, are you going to overlook me just because I'm Black? And that's something that you can't combat with just telling people to respect each other.
To me, it just sounds like a very overhyped. I don't want to call it sensitive. It's sensitive in a good way. It's very protecting, but it sounds like my first day at work somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, like you basically working. Okay, so for instance, let's say you're in Essex County and you have a job that's an office job in Elmwood Park. I feel like you would see 2 Black people in an office setting. Let's say if it's an office setting of 12 people in the office, maybe 2 or 3 Black people, maybe 1 Indian, Indian American. Of course, maybe like 7 white people, maybe 2 Spanish people, something like that. And then you got to get that speech where you better respect each other. Hey, look at me. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Respect me. Respect me and respect each other. Because if you don't respect each other, you're going to get fired. If you don't respect me, I'm going to tell you that you're going to get fired in front of everybody and your people. Then I'm going to fire you. All that type stuff. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's just, it doesn't work, I think. I just think it's like, it's trying to scare white people straight by saying like, yo, if you're going to lose your job if you disrespect these people. But no, this isn't 1960, 1970. You're not going to, no white person's really going around being disrespectful to black people. It's not really happening. Maybe on the street where you got the Karens coming out and doing that. But in the workplace, I think for the most part, and especially the spaces that I've been in, for the most part, people are going to talk and act respectful. So it's a moot point at that to me.
You told me that you've worked with some Caucasian men, Caucasian women that I don't want to say you're friends. I don't know. I don't want to, I'm going to just assume your friendship with the white people that you know.
Yeah, we're friendly.
Friendly. Okay.
Yeah.
So you did also let me know about one of these sisters, white women, that have completely different issues. Well, completely different perspective on these issues that's going on racially, especially in 2020.
Right.
But have love and respect for you and how is that like? Because for me, and I'm not saying that I don't have white friends, but certain things I feel like, no disrespect to you, you can't have a difference of opinion with me on this.
I think they actually can and should, because they growing up seeing the world from their perspective, just like you are, right?
Right.
And what happens is there's forces outside of us as human beings that make us clash on those points, right? You grew up in a different background. I grew up in a different background. So we can't see eye to eye. But I can respect and understand that you have an opinion. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're racist towards me. If you're showing me respect and, you genuinely just have a mutual respect for me, I can only see that. But then your politics, your personal politics on the side tells me that in the inside, like you see something different.
That's what I'm saying? Yeah.
But that's, again, why I'm like, yo, you can't just fix that with HR policy.
Of course. Exactly. We got to take it to the streets. Listen, untuck your shirt. Let's step outside. I ain't having this anymore, yo. I'm fighting for supremacy out here, yo.
Did Ashanti and Keyshia Cole's verses make you feel like you were in high school again?
Ashanti, I remember Ashanti from high school.
Really? Oh, wait, no, she was like out, like the Ja Rule years.
Yeah, because I had
songs.
I had Ja Rule's 336 album all senior year is what I was listening to. You know what I'm saying? And but so I was aware of Ashanti. Keyshia Cole was more on my college years, but that music just had me feeling like skating ring, college party in the gym.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? That whole Averex and Parasuco jeans and all of that. Like,
oh my God, hold on. Let's take a walk down memory lane. Hold up. God, Parasuco jeans. What you gonna say? What's them Paradiso sneakers too?
Yeah, the Pepe jeans. Yeah, I said the Maurice Malone joints. It's crazy. That was that whole swag back there, yeah.
Yo, my goodness.
The Eminem jackets. Yeah, man.
Hold up. We need you to break your phone out. We need you to read off these comments because I need to laugh. Now, while you're pulling that up, I'll make some quick comments. So, number one, where are they finding these IKEA Queen of the North collection chairs at?
Word is bone. I don't know. I bet you somebody's selling them. One of these fashion designers.
HBO is selling that. That looked like straight from Game of Thrones, yo. That was dope, though. And then also, I had 3 people call me and say, yo, why they taking so long? And then what I did was, look, hear me out. What I did was, even though you said something that was so good, it was good and you could say it because I'm still laugh. But this is what I said. I looked up some information. Keyshia Cole has debuted at least somewhere between number 2 and number 4 in 3 of her albums. And then the other one, Ashanti, she is the first, when they first put out Best R&B Contemporary Album, Grammy, she won it, 2003. You know what? They have every right to make me wait a little bit. I can't stun on them. I cannot stun on these ladies. They are powerful. Because you know what's so funny? As far as with music is so warp speed now. Like, you get a new song in 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes, it's a new song. Whether they underground, somebody that you know, whatever now, right? So all this music that's been whooped in my mind these last 5-6 years, I forgot that these ladies really did their thing. They may not have been the heavyweights that Beyonce and Rihanna are, but they're the middleweights. They like the Bernard Hopkins, Kodo, like, you know what I'm saying? They hit hard, you know what I'm saying, a little lighter, but like they had, I would say both of them had maybe a 4 or 5 year dominance.
Yeah.
Where they got to really call their own, like, yo, we out here, what's up? Yeah, move to the side, Faith Evans, we out here now, you know what I'm saying? So I give them that respect, you know what I'm saying? That's what's up. But if you may, like, I don't know if you got the comments up, bro, I gotta laugh. Because I was reading a couple of these, you know, I be ghost reading sometimes, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you, you know what I'm saying? That shit be funny, though.
Yeah, so I started the night, like, you know, I watch it on Apple TV because they give you like a super clear picture. There's never been any like sound quality issues and nothing like that. So I'm watching it, and then they bring it up, like they got the bright colors and they side by side. They not horizontal. They side by side. And I'm like, oh, it's fire. It look dope. You know what I mean? Elegant. Yeah. I see they picked up a couple new sponsors, Doritos. You got Drizzly on the bottom, like, we'll deliver your Ciroc for you. I'm like, oh, they getting money, right? So then I hear the DJ playing music. Nobody's out there yet. Now, Versus normally starts late. So I'm cool. You know what I mean? But then it started getting later and later. So around 8:30, I'm like, all right, they playing Ashanti greatest hooks in the pre-show. She ain't gonna have nothing left to play during the actual verses. So we gotta chill. So then we getting closer to 9 o'clock. And then I'm like, yo, they don't realize their demographic is almost 40. I'm about to rest my eyes for a little bit. I'm getting tired at that point. It did. So now we pass 9 o'clock. Ashanti finally come out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo. So then I'm telling myself, like, they like, let them wait. I'm talking to my son. Like they King Jaffe Joffa. You know what I'm saying? Then Ashanti came out. So I'm like, she bad. She looked good.
I ain't mean to even laugh at that. Yes.
I was like, all right, I ain't even mad at the wait time. I'm cool. So then I'm like, yo, they normally walk out at the same time, but I'm like, all right, they in different spots. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, Keyshia Cole still coming from home? I was like, Ashanti was at the hairdresser first. She got to the appointment first. Keyshia Cole was still under the dryer waiting. Then I was like, yo, every man that ever watched it, every man that's watching this is triggered right now because Keyshia probably told somebody she'll be ready in 5 minutes, and here we go an hour later. And that'll happen to all of us. And then, what else? Then they took a break in the middle of the joint. And I'm like, yo, if coming to work late and leaving early was a person, it'd be Keyshia Cole. Because she was definitely trying to get up out of here. So
did she get surgery done?
I don't know. Why, her boobs look bigger or something? She just had her out. I don't think she has.
No, it's like the middle part. It just looked like a big butt crack. And I was just concerned. Like it was too mushed together. I didn't know what was going on.
That was just the top that she had on.
Oh, that okay.
It had to be tight because if it wasn't tight, it would have definitely popped out. And I was like praying and willing for it to happen, but it ain't happened. But for the overall battle, like I gave Ashanti the win because, and it was just on feeling alone. I felt like Keyshia was a little discombobulated. You know, she got songs that no matter how she feeling right there in the moment, they gonna rock. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't knock them. But the Ashanti was actually giving us the feel good. She was bopping, she was singing along, and her songs just brought back those memories that made me like, all right, I rock with this more.
If you want to win a versus, you need to throw shade. And then you also have to play verses the same way you play spades. So for instance, if you only have 5 like major hits, like, I mean, you know, everyone has 10, 11 songs, but we talking about 5 hits that you know was on the radio, and when that is on, you like, never knew, babe. You know what's going on. You driving through the, you know what I mean? You know exactly what time it is when you're hearing this song. Your lips, you like, yup, I know exactly what's going on. So anyway, you gotta pull number 5 out first.
Bro, okay.
To fill out what's going on.
Right.
I feel like these artists be jumping in like, nope, number 1 hit in America right now, motherfucker. And then you start losing. You know what I'm saying? You just like, you done pulled out that joker too fast.
Right.
You need to pull the number 5 hit out. You know what I'm saying? Something that make you feel good. Because honestly, you know what Keyshia should have did first? And I wouldn't know. Because in my opinion, I feel like Versus does a bad job with making me find out who really is the better artist. Because I already know who I think is the better artist, and I'm going to just stick with that. So I'll give you my answer. Personally, even though, look, both women are talented, we talking about the Concrete Rose of California versus the prettiest woman in Glen Cove, New York. Like, this is, whew, I mean, whew. But in my opinion, I like Keyshia Cole. That's just me, right? I like the ballad style. I like her Concrete Rose appearance. I love it. That's just me. Now, hear me out on this. If she would have came out doing that Missy Elliott song first, her vibe would have been so important. You need to get the chick don't love
how
it.
about
Coming
that?
around and she don't wanna and making it sad is but she what motherfucker would have been in here like yo Keyshia. Boom, boom. And the vibe would have been different.
On in the club today.
That's what I'm saying. The vibe would have been different. Her vibe probably would have been different. Cause she was out here playing Shade Room the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Ashanti like ain't having that like yo, what you doing? Man, they should just showed a little bit of her legs. Men was out here popped up like, oh, what's that about? Hey now.
She wasn't a visual.
You still with Nelly? Hey now. Hey. You still with Nelly?
Hey, yo, what the f***? This is a Polly right here.
Has the pandemic lowered or raised your dating standards?
All right. Has the pandemic lowered or raised your dating standards? We found out from a nun that decided to date during the pandemic.
Courtesy of WDSU.
After living as a Catholic nun for 12 years, 38-year-old Allison McCrary started to feel the need for a romantic relationship.
Something needed to change so that I could enter into this period of grace and have different needs met for intimacy and love in my life.
So she went on an 8-day silent retreat with her spiritual mentor, praying to God for an answer.
And I really felt like God just said, go. That was the word. Go and I will go with you.
With peace about her life-changing decision, she asked for a dispensation of her vows. It was approved in August during the peak of the pandemic. Allison started off by joining a dating app. Most of the dates have been virtual.
Dating around really looks like, sitting in front of a cell phone doing video chats in a recliner by yourself.
But she's had a few in-person dates, going for walks on the beach and kayaking with masks on.
I found it very interesting and a lot of fun, even during the pandemic.
Hey, a 8-day spiritual retreat.
Yes.
With her spiritual advisor.
Yes.
They was.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but it don't matter. She got exposed to some sex, and then she was like, I'm never going back to being a nun again. And now she out here on Tinder. Going from being a nun to being on Tinder is crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Hey, yo, why? I mean, hold on. So so she for the streets now just because she don't want to be in the church no more? Come on.
Just the way that it played out. Like, I went on a bunch of dates already. Like, It
was a bunch of virtual dates. And then she did go kayaking. She went kayaking. She went kayaking.
And walked on the beach. She smashed every time. First date. Easy.
Damn. You think she just smashed first date though?
Easy.
First
She been
date?
holding it for 38 years.
I'm saying she been holding it down for 12 years. I'm pretty sure she can wait 6 more months anytime she wants. She's probably the 40-year-old virgin. Play like for 30, we'll make it 40 days, mother. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? She probably out here like, yeah, all right, no problem. I'm just saying. So the young lady, Miss Allison, she is 38 years old. She's been living as a Catholic nun for 12 years. So she started when she was 24. 24 is you're for the streets age. Like that is when you're 20 to 27, that is you're for the streets age. Like,
Right.
you out here trying to, mingle, do whatever you do, male or female. Let's just keep that real. She gave that for God. Like, I got to give it to her. She gave that to God. Whatever missions is it missionary? It's not missionaries. Is it
missionaries? Yeah.
I didn't want to use that word. And I know the kind of person I am.
Appropriate word.
So she went on missionaries. She went on missionaries and whatever the case may be as a Catholic nun. And she has practiced. And she wants something different. And she 38. Better 38 than 48 in my opinion.
Yeah. It's just I thought they took a vow of celibacy or whatever forever.
For life, huh?
Yeah. So and she human. She got the right to change her mind. Our Pope be liking pics on Instagram of models. So I'm sure he was he was more than happy to help approve her going back to the streets.
So I had a clip of another sister. I believe her name is Sister Claudette Powell, I believe, something like that. I don't have it in front of my face. Let me minimize you for a second, bro, and get to my Microsoft Word. Oh, here we go. Okay, so she works for the community of St. John Baptist in Mendham, New Jersey. Her name is Sister Monica Claire Powell. Okay, so she wants to talk about her side, her perspective as a female in the, well, I'm going to just say it the way I want to say it, as a female in the church business, okay, as a nun. Here we go.
But it was a lot more than that. I loved going to church. The feeling of God was always around me. It was very intense from the time I first remember being alive. I felt God's presence. I had a very difficult childhood. My father was a drug addict and alcoholic. And so I grew up in a home with a lot of domestic violence and uncertainty, economic terror. So as a little kid, I would pray. And that's what I felt like kept me going. But I was also told that women are supposed to get married. We're supposed to have children because that's what we're made to do. I had a really hard time, hiding the fact that I felt absolutely no urge to get married or have children because it's not very popular in American culture to say that you don't want to do that. I certainly like dating. I loved boys. I chased a lot of boys and tried to be a normal person because I was told that's what you have to do to be normal. But it always felt like I was faking my personality. I would try to be fun. My friends would say, oh, let's go out dancing. And I hated it.
So she was for the streets and then she wanted to retire.
Exactly. Now, her story is kind of different because she started out working in advertisement in Hollywood. She said she was making $150,000 a year. So this is on BuzzFeed if you ever want to watch this on YouTube, people. Okay, that's on BuzzFeed, courtesy of BuzzFeed. So she was making this money, all right, living, just a normal, regular $150,000 a year type of life. She married a man when she was a Christian. The dude was an atheist.
She was
on their honeymoon, they went to Rome. I guess they went to one of those Vatican-like cathedrals. She went inside and just literally busted out crying because her life's work was to be a nun in her mind, but she just didn't, go there yet. She didn't get to that level yet. And she had to divorce this man and then become a nun right here in Mendham, New Jersey.
Yo, as a man, that gotta hurt your pride. Like your wife is one if you mess with a woman and then she leave you and become gay. And then it's another if she leave you and become a celibate nun. She like, man, I'm not with no other. I'm not messing with nobody else for the rest of my life. I'm done.
Nah, that might be all right, yo. That's not bad. Depends on how you work that. You know what I'm saying? Because what if what if the next date you go on after you broke up with the nun and she just asks you about your ex? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you still talk to her? Like, well, I don't talk to her like used to, but she is a nun now.
She's in a monastery, so.
Yeah, exactly. She's in a better place. It ain't like she, you know what I'm saying? She not heartbroken. She ain't got no drama. Like, yo, we can meet her if you want. Like, she a nun.
That's funny.
She probably could tell us about how we need to be with each other. Like, she done found God. And then on top of it, she like, look, yo, I felt like I asked God for clarity. And I felt like God said, go. And that was the word. That's what the woman said. Go and I will go with you. Okay, fine. And I mean, that's technically true because, she can go on a date and still spread the word, right? She could do that.
Yeah. And that's the part, though, that religion get me. Like, it takes you away from your humanity. Like, because clearly her path and her walk with God still led her to wanting to link up and connect with other people in a romantic way. So why do people vow to take that part of their away from their life? You know what I'm saying? Why can't they figure out a way to compartmentalize it and give honor and faith to their God and still be fruitful as human beings?
I think the best answer to that, Hanif, is the same way a president has to be presidential, a king has to be a king, a queen has to be a queen. The greatest thing about a queen or a king, but let's talk about a queen for a second. The greatest thing about being a queen is people think a queen has to be some like dolled up, elegant thing. No, a queen is a powerful, majestic beast that will slaughter you for the grace of her people. She will do whatever it takes to show you that her and her town ain't playing. And then they all gonna praise and celebrate me because I do it for them. I don't do this for me.
Right.
So it's almost idolization, but it's because, you have people to feed. I got an island to maintain. I ain't got no time to hear this bullshit complaining about some other town, talking about they want to take supplies. We killing you. So but I say all that to make the point that, yo, these are people of God regardless. They just, and if you want to be, if you're a person of God and you want to do the full-on discipline, then you're going to take on a full-on discipline. Right. As you continue to read the Quran, the Bible, whatever type of holy dispense you like to pull out the vendor. The thing is that they all have a level of discipline that is beyond the normal life. The no music, the no cursing, the a lot of different things that we as some normal folk like, look, man, I can still go to heaven and say, come on now, come on. But you may have a monk that's like, no, I disagree.
All right. If you would like to be a guest on the Late Night Flight, hit me in my Facebook DM at Hanif Sowell or email us at thelatenightflight@gmail.com.
How much should you spend on a first date?
How much should it cost? First date. Give me a price. Give me a number.
I'm thinking a good 120 to 150.
No. It's not what you think. I was gonna say $88. I was gonna say $88, yo. 88. Yeah. I'm good with 88 first date. 88.
$88.
$88.
And that's including drinks and the tip and all that.
I don't know. Probably not. So let's say $108. $108. $108.
That's
$108. I'm saying first date. Like, I'm not even, on some real, man, I've been on some terrible first dates where I ain't saying I spent some crazy money. Well, no, let me see. Have I ever spent $100? No, I've never spent $150 on a first date. I spent $150 maybe the second or third.
Okay.
I've never spent $150 on the first date, yo.
But some cool, like, technically low end places that, and I'm not trying to on it or anything, but I think it'd be cool Dave and Buster's is a cool first date, and that's relatively cheap. Bowling is a cool first date. What else would be a cool spot to go to on like a first date? Miniature golf, maybe.
What about the Castle spot that's in New York? Oh, that's probably not a good first date though.
I never heard of it.
I was like a massage spa place.
Oh, nah, I don't know. That'd be tough on the first date, I think.
That'd be tough. Yeah, it'd be tough. All right, first date places. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about places I want to do. Like all the ones you said was actually spot on.
Yeah, so like I'm big on like I said, I'm big on finding like a boutique, family-owned restaurant that's not too big, not too small, but it's like a spot that got good food, nice little ambiance.
What was the most expensive first date you went on?
I took my daughter's mother to a French restaurant in Ocean City, Maryland, because I don't even know if Google was whatever search engine we had back at the time. I searched restaurants that'll cook food in front of you, but not hibachi. Like I wanted them to do that, like where they pour the brandy on it and then they light the fire in front of you and the chef actually comes out to the table and all that. So it was this nice fancy French restaurant called Reflections in Ocean City, Maryland. And I bought like a $200 bottle of wine. I didn't even like wine at the time. I just thought that was some hot to do. You know what I'm saying? And then we both had like the Chilean sea bass highest fish meal on the menu. Then we got dessert. And that bill came up to like $5 and some change. And then with the tip, I ended up spending $600.
I'm saying, man, 10 years though. Hold on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like that was my longest relationship. You know what I'm saying? It was my baby mother. I was trying to impress her. And, it worked. Yeah, we got a nice long relationship out of it.
What's up? I can't wait till I spend $600 on some woman unexpectedly for no reason and just said, all right, take that on the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, I'm trying to think about that. Like, wow, yo, that is crazy. It's not crazy. It's like, I'm trying to really think. I don't know.
But the thing about it is, and that don't count. Like she was already, we was already engaged and all that. Like I spent like $1,200 on the birthday dinner or some.
That don't count.
But what I would say is
$1,200 on a birthday dinner?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
What I would say is it worked and she was mad impressed. But when you go to them restaurants and you in that food, it's not in your palate, you don't really eat it. So we might have ended up leaving and going to Wendy's afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't like the food. So here it is, I blew $600 and then I'm at Wendy's getting, a $10 chicken meal. And then that's what satisfied us at the end of the day.
Okay, you know what? I can answer this now. I finally have an answer. It's not a date. It probably has more to do with our last conversation about going outside during COVID, but check me out. So me and my man, we was at Dolce's in Elizabeth. This is early pandemic. This is early, like summertime pandemic. We did not know these women. It was 4 women, 2 of us. 4 women, 2 of us. We are laughing. We are joking. I am telling them about our podcast. It's like week 1 that they could have had before we even really dropped it yet. You feel me? It's the summer. It's late summer. And shots, all that, whatever. Bill came up to $385, yo. Cam was like, yo, just tip her $100. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Give her 100. Don't worry about it.
Hey, yo, so I went to a bar one time. This is a little quick funny story though. I went to a bar and we was meeting some friends there or whatever. So one of the friends was coming to be in the VIP section.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm in the spot. So now I go over to the other section. And I'm like, yo, her VIP section was super crowded because she famous or whatever. And the other VIP section right next to it was empty. So I go over to the lady. I'm like, yo, what do we got to do to get at the table? She was like, if you buy 3 bottles, you get the entire table. So the 3 bottles came up to, it was like, I think I got like a bottle of Remy, a bottle of some white liquor like Grey Goose, and then a bottle of that Nouveau champagne.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. And it came up to like 900 because they was charging that much for the bottle. It was charging me like 300-400 for the Remy, something, whatever. So I got it, and then I go over to the people that I'm with, like, yo, but the person that we was waiting for was late. They wasn't coming. So I'm talking to the other people that was with me, like, yo, I just got this table or whatever. Y'all trying to come? So everybody was like, yeah, we coming, but we gonna wait till she come because they were gonna try and get into her section. So as the time going on, and I'm thinking, like, did I just spend $900 on liquor at a club? Am I a rapper?
Yeah.
No. So I went back to the lady. I'm like, man, can you cancel that order? I had a lapse in judgment, and I don't want those bottles. I don't want to sit at this table.
So they let you cancel the order though?
Yeah, they let me cancel it, and somebody else bought it right up, and that table got filled up. So it was a popping club. I just got there early, so that's why.
Ah, you did right. The 40-40 was like that. When you walked in the 40-40, and the fact that it was so packed, they was just like, yo, we'll just make a table for you and make room for you. You got 300 right now? You be thinking about it.
Which one, Atlantic City or?
This one, it was in New York, like when it first opened up. When the 40-40 first opened up. 40-40 first opened up, that was bonkers, yo. See, I don't know. I did most of my dating in the mid-2000s. So for me, I would take my date to some place like that. I was a first date guy that would take you to some bar club. I was a club promoter ass motherfucker. I'm trying to take you to the 40-40. So in a way, it's free to get in. It's free to get in.
Right.
Now the drink's gonna be something stupid, but this is where I'm saying this 85, this 88 coming into play. Cause it's straight drinks.
Yeah.
We got like 2-3 drinks. I mean, honestly, I'm a lightweight. I don't even drink that much. I probably have like 1 shot, some Henny or some. That's what I'm drinking. And she's gonna just explode. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm there. I'm at like 88. I'm at like 100. And it's like over. Now, don't get me wrong, if it's gonna be a better night. Might be another 100. Anyway, we're not gonna get to that point. But I'm just saying, like, yo, I was into spots like that as my first date. So that's where I came up with my number about the whole 80 something. Because I like to go to bar club spot.
Right.
Have a drink, get a talk. Maybe I don't even have to have a drink. It's not necessarily about having a drink. It's just spot where it's just some music going around, lounge atmosphere. You about to kick it.
Yeah.
And figure out some things. Because obviously, we ain't trying to waste each other's time. A pool hall. I like a pool hall, a billiard hall.
Yeah. That's a cool date.
That's a cool date. You know what I'm saying? And that's a cheap date. That's not even bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's actually like, what, $40 in the making.
Yeah.
Realistically, you know what I'm saying? Or as if you buy the drinks too.
It depends too. If you get a mom and pop spot, like a drink that do buy one, get one free, Long Island iced teas or something. You know what I'm saying? If you catch a little hood spot hole in the wall, then you could get it off. But look, I'm not doing that. I'm not taking her to my hood bar
Right.
until we go together. You know
Yeah,
what
that
I'm
makes
saying?
sense. That makes sense.
We got to be in a relationship first before we go to the hood bar.
Okay. Let me see. What else is like inexpensive but could go? Well, some women like bowling, but they like these new club bowling little alleys that's going on right now. They got a couple of them in New York. They got a couple of them in Philly?
Yeah, Lucky Strike is one of them.
That's the
we
one.
got a drink called North Bowl down here where they dance, they play music, they serve food and bowling. It's an all-in-one atmosphere.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't get it. That's one problem I do have with dating. That's why I don't date. I haven't dated as much as I used to, because some of the spots I just don't necessarily want to be at. Like Lucky Strike, even though, like, don't get me wrong, I get it. But like, really? It's a club, it's a bowling alley, it's an arcade. It's Dave and Buster's, but
it's like upscale.
What is this? Like, come on. What are you feeding me over here, dog? Like, what are you feeding me? I don't even want to be here now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what it reminds me? Like, that's what 1 in 9 billers on some hood. That's what 1 in 9 billers is. That's in Elizabeth.
Okay, yeah.
In New Jersey.
Oh, that's the type of scene it is.
I mean, but it's just a super upscale version of that.
Yeah.
Because the hood one that's over there in Elizabeth, they got that bullshit ping pong table.
Gotcha.
What
about the barcade joint? I never been in there.
Oh, barcade. So barcade, they have old school arcade games. That's what make them fresh. That's a very good first date too.
Okay.
I actually took a woman out from the gym. That was our first date at the barcade in Jersey City. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. That was great. Okay, so no, but realistically, the barcade just have a lot of old school arcade games. So if you are someone that used to play arcade games back in the day, you see an old school Rampage, an NBA Jam, Double Dragon, you like, hold up. Let me get up real fast and play a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's all right though. It's all right. Like, it's all right.
Right. I got you.
But yeah, I'm like that type of person. Like, I like to do active, jump around stuff. Oh, here's one that's, all right, if you do 150, because you talking about 150, and I went in my 150. I would say this, but I would have said this 10 years ago, not now. But 10 years ago, I would have said the go-karts.
Okay.
But what the ones I'm talking about are like, honestly, they're a little smaller. Now I would say like the grown ones, like, ATVs, or like the real go-karts that's like down in Atlantic City somewhere. You know what I mean? Where they got like a kind of a racetrack. Like it's larger than some that you would see at Sports Park USA when we was kids or some like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What about Great Adventures? When date would that be? Where you went to an amusement park?
You know something? That's another thing too. That's what I'm saying. I got to get over the fact that some places I don't like going to. Like I don't like roller coasters.
I'm not a roller coaster person either.
Yeah, I'm not into that. Like I done seen too many things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into that. Nope. Not into that. I'm not into that. Not into that at all. Like, yo, they slipped out? Oh, like butter? No.
Hey, yo, what the f***? This is a palace right here.
Did Donald Trump free more blacks than Abraham Lincoln?
No, but he came close. So Donald Trump in his last days of office has been releasing people like crazy. He had a whole system set up where he was taking part in requests and designing it to where he could get it done by the time his last day of presidency. And then I think on the morning of the inauguration on the 20th, he, strokes his pen and let a few more people out. So most notably, he let out Lil Wayne. He let out Kodak Black. And then he pardoned Kwame Kilpatrick, the former mayor of Detroit. Those are the notable names that Black community that he let out, and that was big. Oh no, I'm sorry. And Harry O. the partner in Death Row. Yeah, he let Harry O out on the pardon as well. So,
all right, quick question. Kodak Black or Bill K. Capri? Which name you like more? Keep it G. Kodak Black or Bill K. Capri?
I definitely like Kodak Black.
Okay. Whether it's Bill K. Capri or Bill Capri, I feel like if he would have went with Bill Capri, I would like him more, yo. For some reason, he really looked like a Bill Capri to me, yo. He looked like somebody that would call himself Bill Capri.
Who, Kodak?
Yeah, that's his name.
Oh, wow.
His legal name is Bill Capri, yo. I'm like, yo.
He must have changed it. He Haitian.
Yo, his name should have been Bill Capri, yo. He would have won the day, yo. Kodak Black. I mean, Kodak Black is like, that's definitely hip hop. But Bill Capri, yo. That's a name. That's funny. Yo, so the only thing I want to say about this is a lot of the people, even including the former mayor of Detroit, a lot of the people that he pardoned have some pay-to-play Ponzi going on behind them.
For sure.
Trump is gearing up. He is revving up the engine, if you will, for Death Star. And I'm not here for it, but I'm just wondering why y'all, white people, I gotta admit, no matter how many lynches you have done, no matter how many condescending, undertone racial comments you probably have made on television, in people's faces, at home, you are like nice enough to each other where even when someone has done something wrong to everyone in the country, made you look bad, you still just like, look, Trump, look. Here's the helicopter. Just wave at them and just go to the helicopter and then just go. Go. Like, I'm just saying, like, but here's the thing. Trump's so, I don't want to call him gangster. Like, I want to say that he's modestly ignorant, but in his mind, he's brilliant in his way. And that says a lot, but we'll get to that in a second. Because he walks outside. I'm showing, and by the way, I'm talking about this clip that I saw on YouTube where they show Trump walking out the White House and him and Melania holding hands towards this helicopter to leave off or whatever. Because he's not going to the inauguration.
Right.
Like, photographers are still out there. He talking to them like, hey, man, it's a great day, in the White House, and I did it, ha. You ain't think I could do it, but I did it. That's all that matters. Oh, you want me to do it again? You really think I need this place? Do you really think I need this place? Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, Milan, she's still good? Look, you see her? Look at that. Look at that. Looking like the day she did porn. I see y'all later. See y'all later. Daddy Trump out. And I'm thinking like, what the did y'all, like, he was rich before he came into office. He don't care about that money. $250,000. He gave Hillary Clinton that years ago. He don't care about that.
Hey, yo. Do you know that Melania Trump is pretty much a mail-order bride?
So?
From Russia?
So? She's not from Russia. Is she? No, she's not from Russia.
She's from one of them Eastern European countries.
Yes, that's correct.
That was the former Soviet Union. She's from one of those places.
Fine.
But that's crazy though, that the first lady of the United States was probably a mail order bride.
Listen, Trump, man, back to Larry King real fast, because it goes with the whole Trump thing. Larry King he did an interview with Jon Stewart. If you see this on YouTube, that was on the Larry King show. This got millions of views. And this, in my opinion, this was the interview that made me look at Jon Stewart as, for some reason, why is this comedian seems like he would be a better politician than the politician that's in office? And even though Jon Stewart is doing his best to tell you not to vote for Trump, the genie's out the bottle already.
Right.
Damn, yo, these mother politicians is like brittle in some type of way. Where they got their own agenda, but they got opposed to think that they're for us.
Right.
Like for instance, and I know we didn't talk about it. I'm not trying to talk about it to make it a topic or nothing, because I'm happy that we ain't really discuss it. But our sister Kamala Harris, like, it's just this bit of warfare. Now, for me personally, I'm just like, look, congratulations, she did that. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Now, another side of me is just like, yo, we had a chance to vote her in as president. Like, don't forget that. Like, please do not settle for the silver. We had a chance to get the gold. Let's just go for the gold. But I'm not going to put that out there into the universe or anything like that. I keep that to myself, whatever. I'm not going to just jump that on Facebook or nothing like that. I'm just chilling because I'm just happy that positive things are happening. Here is a woman that we should be celebrating to the Most High, but we won't because of the stench of a politician.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Kamala Harris just has the stench of a politician. Oh, don't get me wrong. She wears the coat of, the ancestry black people. She wears the coat of the Jamaican heritage and the Indian American heritage. She does that very well. Like, I ain't knocking the sister. The problem I have right now is, why are we up the fact that she's a politician? Like, listen, we gonna give her the flowers, That's it. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
Show her that love. Don't even sit there and be like, but it don't even matter at this point. Have you ever been a politician where you about to walk into a room of one culture that really dominates, even though they have these small subgroups going on, and you got to maneuver to this room to not only use your agenda to get to the next level, but then you're going to have to take some pages out of their book to get to another level. You ain't never been in those rooms before. You don't know the type of, like, think about it. These politicians have power. And
Right.
it ain't like Kamala. Kamala is not one of them small time politicians that like honestly, AOC, she's the new kid on the block. She
Mhm.
gets a lot of pub because she's young. That's it. But she's small time compared to like the Cory Booker and the Kamala, and then you got, like, that's middleweight. But then you got Mitch McConnell, Pelosi, Schumer, the big dogs of the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't going no where. Them jobs are there for you. And that's the thing. It's like, yo, they got these type of politicians that people just don't with, but for some reason they get these jobs. And then you got somebody that's just on TV, like a Jon Stewart, Donald Trump, whatever, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they just get the job because it's like a popular, like a high school popular one of them high school popular contests.
I just think that, Kamala especially, like, I've been looking into her and trying to, just get a view of who she is, and because she's a black woman and I want to champion her. And a lot of stuff that people would say is just to be mad misinformed about her. And I think it's underlying for the fact that, one, she's a black woman. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted her to be in that first spot, you know what I'm saying, to be president. She got the vice president. That's close enough, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And she could potentially become president in 24 or 28 if everything goes the way that, that they wanted to go. But when we start looking into politicians and trying to separate their politics from the person, I think a lot of what we do and what we consume is what causes us to start to gravitate towards, public figures or figures that are more charismatic. And this is how you get Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? This is how you get all of these right-wing or left-wing people. This is how you get AOC.
That's how you get AOC.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same mentality that got us Donald Trump is the same mentality that got us AOC.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's where Democrats have to tap into that. Like, honestly, it's sad to say. I ain't gonna say sad. It's not really sad. I shouldn't have said it like that. I'm saying that because they're probably look at it like, wow, AOC is just this new kid on the block. She doesn't have any experience. But at the same time, you may have to take that inexperience as a plus and be like, nah, shoot her to the moon.
Yeah.
Put that rocket on her. What do you mean? Nah, President 2024. What are you talking about? Just do it. Her against Kamala. Now what you gonna do? Now you have to put a woman in.
I don't know. So unless we get a Republican or in the next election cycle or something happens to Joe Biden, I think everybody is all the Democrats are going to sit it out until 2028.
So back to the question at hand about Donald Trump freeing more people than Abe Lincoln, because nobody frees more blacks than Donald Trump, right? So the thing about Trump is that what he did by becoming president is, this is going to sound crazy. Is that I don't know if he freed more people than Abe Lincoln. I mean, that's a lot of people. Now, there's two ways you could look at this. Trump definitely freed a lot of black people's mind for the last 4 years. He did that. I'm not saying it was good or bad. I'm just saying he did that. He made black people do some shit that they normally don't do. Question. But another way you can look at this, is that, what you about to say, bro? Talk to me.
I mean, to your point, you got to think Charlottesville sparked it off. Then you had George Floyd in the summer, Breonna Taylor. All of these things culminated, but it culminated from Trump's rhetoric. So even if you're looking at it from an opposition standpoint, you do have to say that Trump is the catalyst for Joe Biden's administration.
Absolutely.
And the policies that they're taking up right now, and the fact that all of these corporations are trying to diversify and bring black people in. Trumpism is the catalyst for all of these things. Now,
and I would say to that as far as black people being killed by police officers has happened in different administrations, and that doesn't mean that they're at fault for it. It's just that it's happened on their watch. So that's what Trump was. At one point, he's going to just rebuttal that, right? Like that. Simple. You know what I'm saying? That's going to bounce right off. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, Trump rhetoric is crazy because Trump has a base that he needs, you know what I'm saying, in order to win. He's a salesman. He's going to play by the numbers. This is nothing but analytics for him. If this place was 200, like it's 300 million people here in America. If 60% of this country were black Americans, he'd be doing so much of our culture, it'd be a shame. Because he wants that vote. He wants to win.
Yeah.
That's just how he coming. And I'm not saying that that's like okay because he throwing out rhetoric. No, of course not. What I'm saying also is that I think a lot of people that's outside of the white community should like kind of like smarten up and wake up to like how the rhetoric is being presented, because sometimes they're taking up some of his stuff in bits and pieces where, yeah, it's coming off a little crazy. Then you actually watch this in a 10-minute sound clip. It's like, oh, all right. You should shut up a lot. But I can't sit there and be like, yo, you want some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say this to black people, and I want us to get this and drive it home, is that, you know, American culture is very fickle, is very fleeting. You know what I'm saying? It's very what's now and what's trending. And all of this attention that's being paid to black people, all of this money that they're releasing into the black community, all of these resources that they're trying to ramp up for us, is temporary. You know what I'm saying? It's because of the moment right now. There's nothing systemic that's happening where this is going to be the norm forever. So we need to take it upon ourselves to take full advantage of these opportunities while they exist, and then set ourselves up to be in a better position. Because what's essentially going to happen is once they give you out all the money, once they give you all of these programs and say, we did this, X, Y, and Z, they're going to be like, what more do you want from us? We can't keep screaming Black Lives Matter at some point, because they're going to diffuse it by saying, okay, take what you want. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't take what we want and be useful with it and then make it into something that is going to be generational, then we're going to be right back into this, or our kids are going to be right back in the same situation 10, 20 years from now, and we still going to be marching for freedom.
If you don't want to march for freedom, what you really need to do is DM Ice Cube and say, stop playing. You know we gonna vote for you, and just go ahead and do it, man. Like, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, honestly, like, look, man, I don't mean to act like a simpleton or about some of this stuff, but I feel as though that, like you just said, my man, you said we are very here and now. And hey, look, I am a person that is of adaptation, you know? So if we are in the here and now, hey, I don't like to be on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I feel like, yo, even with this podcast, it's funny. Let's say if we average 50 to 50, like 54 downloads a week, I only have 24 friends. I've doubled my worth. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's something special with what we got going on. This ain't even about, like, I'm not even worried about social media. But what I'm saying is, in the here and now, we're in a place where it's for the moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's for the moment. So why not? Like, Trump, like, look, yo, I'm gonna rush the Capitol Hill. I'm gonna do it right now. You'll never forget this. You'll never forget me. And I don't agree with that.
Right.
But it's the fact that this motherfucker did this and the white people was like, look, you know, just come on, don't do that. Because if it was other people, it wouldn't have been just 4 people dead because of other people stepping on top of them. Right. It'd have been 400 people dead because they would have said, yo, why are you on our porch?
Right.
What are you doing? Don't step again. Please don't step again. It'd be a whole different language. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, Trump broke some barriers on some bullshit, some American barriers. And I think that's where black people need to pay attention when it comes to him. And that's probably where I'm like, yo, he freed your mind because he was on some like, yo, what the is a Mason Dixon? I don't give a about that. Dixon, right. Mason, my ass. What the Trump, baby? He'd be like, yeah, you right, though. You know what I'm saying? Saying some bullshit, yo.
Right.
He made you think differently. And then on the other hand, now I got some of the part that I really want to know now. Wow. The part that I wanted to say. So he freed Lil Wayne and Kodak Black and Bill Capri. Here's the funny thing. Lil Wayne is a multimillionaire. I don't know every black person's the average income, but let's just say Lil Wayne is 11,000 people.
Right.
Donald Trump freed 11,000 people by giving Lil Wayne a pardon. Kodak Black could be 5,000 black people.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know, gotta count that up. That's 16,000 black people that he has freed. I don't know how many black people I want to say millions maybe.
2 million black people got freed.
And Abraham Lincoln.
Maybe 4.
All right. So as usual, Donald Trump is just throwing numbers out there to make people like me and you make sure we got to fact check my man. You know what I'm saying? So Trump, look, hey, bro, another loss for you in the fact check column. We did it. We did it.
Please subscribe and download to The Late Night Flight on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Spotify. Every subscription helps us towards our efforts in having a career in podcast radio broadcasting.
Hey, yo, what the This is some Pally right here.